Hi, guys. I know it's been so long since I have written. And so, because of that, for this update, I really wanted to do something a bit more interactive and personal, where instead of just reading the words that I've written down, that you get to see my face and hear my voice, and I can give you a better update in this way. So, if you could just imagine that we are sitting at your house holding cups of coffee and tea. And just kind of updating with what's been happening on this side over here. So as I mentioned in my last update, I was diagnosed with clinical depression in November, and then after that, a fatigue set in. And actually, I'd had fatigue now for almost 2 years. So if you're keeping track, it was 2 years of insomnia and then 2 years of fatigue. And so I'm pretty much hoping I'm over all the sleep issues. But my fatigue got continually worse, especially after my diagnosis. And so I came back to here, to Uganda, and I thought, it's going to be fine. In a month, I'm going to just wake up someday and I'll be ready to jump back in. And then that didn't happen, which was really discouraging. So the fatigue continued, and I was trying to think of the best way to describe to you what fatigue feels like. Because oftentimes people will think, oh, you're just tired. And it's just so much more than just being tired. And so I was reading a description online, and it said, fatigue feels like you are walking through mud that's up to your neck, and you're holding 2 big bags of rocks while you're trying to do that. And I thought, that's a really good description that talks about like the physical aspect of fatigue. It's kind of like when you've had like the worst flu of your life, where you can't even move out of bed. It takes so much energy just to operate. Only that's like every single day, and it wears on you after a while. But for me, the more wearing part of fatigue was actually more the mental aspect of it, to where I couldn't think. I couldn't focus for long enough on anything. I couldn't remember anything. And as someone who is generally very forgetful, it was really discouraging to be even more forgetful. So if we were to have a conversation 5 minutes later, I would remember next to nothing that we talked about. Many of you were so amazingly kind in writing emails, and it was so encouraging to read them. And right now I have a whole bunch of started emails from months ago where I had started a reply to you, and I would get like 3 words to a sentence, or maybe 2 sentences on a good day written down, and then I was done. I didn't have the focus to keep going. I couldn't put sentences together well, and it's crazy to me. It's crazy to say those things, because at the time, I was just surviving. At the time, I was just trying to go every day and live and work through it. And yet it was so difficult, so difficult. I would start to have panic going outside the house, wondering like, oh, what if I go outside and then my energy starts to go, and I'm stuck somewhere. And I don't have the energy to move or to go anywhere. Like, what do I do if I can't function and I'm out where I can't get back home? So all sorts of panic comes into that. And I think I never realized too how much I had prided myself on like just the ability to reason and to research and to talk about intellectual topics. My movie selections for months were limited to Hallmark movies, because that was literally the strongest plot that I could follow. I feel like that actually describes things more than anything else. That was like the most I could do, was to watch Hallmark movies. That's it. And it was just really difficult. And so how I've been describing this is that it's kind of like you've had the worst flu ever. And now, like when you start getting better from that terrible, terrible sickness, you start to realize just how bad things were. And because of that, then you just say, wow, I was sicker than I realized. That's hard. And so things started to change slowly. And so that's kind of where we are now, to where I'm doing a bit better. And it's really great to say that. I've been working with a psychiatrist, also still meeting with counselors, and that's been a huge, huge part of things, of saying I still need help. and I still will need help. So with a psychiatrist, it's been really good to figure out medicines and to change like prescriptions and to kind of figure out what's actually working for me and what's not working for me. And so right now we're on a pretty good thing. Maybe it's not perfect. We're probably going to still have to mess around with that. But about like a month ago, I think now, I woke up and the fatigue was gone. It was baffling. I just remember waking up being like, I feel normal again. So it was a great moment. That doesn't mean my energy is fully back at all. It's affected my sleep now. So now I've been sleeping less, which has been a bummer. And then, yeah, I'm still tired. I still don't have energy every single day. But I feel like mentally together now, which is what's nice. And I feel like I can read books because I can read sentences at a time and focus on them and like comprehend them. And I'm able to write, which is great too. So all those things are great. And for me, it's also been a big learning experience as far as saying, what could God have me do with this? Because this journey has been incredibly difficult. I mentioned in that update, and I'll say it again, this has by far been the hardest year of my entire life. By far. But how can I use this? And how can I use this for God's glory? And that's the question I keep asking. And so especially being a missionary and how many people think that missionaries or people in ministry don't have struggles like this, which is a lie. And especially with depression and anxiety, these are things that often happen inside that no one else sees. And so it's something that I've become quite passionate about. And so for Uganda, especially where this is even more not talked about ever, to bring it up with people, to talk mental illness here and to say, God, how can you use this journey here with the ministry that I have? How can I bring up a topic that no one else is talking about for your glory? Because suicides are on the rise in Uganda, but they're also on the rise in the States. And so what I want to tell you as we sip our coffee here together, I don't want you to feel alone in this. So if you are listening to this saying, man, that sounds overly familiar to me. Oh man, this is something I'm going through, something I haven't shared with someone or I need to share with someone. Please write. Again, I'm 3,000 emails in my inbox right now, so I'm not going to promise how fast my reply will be. But please write, because you're not alone. None of us are. And that's really the incredible gift that we have in Christ. And so I'm very passionate about this and very excited just for the possibilities that God will use in this. But there's another thing too. So if you've ever experienced depression of any kind, you can know that depression literally takes all your joy away. And I don't know how to put that into words of how it is to live a completely joyless life. It was terrible. And I don't think, again, I realized how terrible it was until now I'm experiencing joy again and realizing I really missed that. And so since January, I've had little pieces of joy coming back, just being able to listen to music again, or being able to cook again, or being able to just enjoy flowers, or just the little things in life that I generally find joy in. But one of my struggles was I wanted to start with ministry, and yet feeling like I can't, and being so scared to start again with the girls, thinking, how can I have the girls here when I don't have energy? They're usually here for about 4 to 6 hours. So how am I going to do this? And it was about, I'm going to say 2 weeks ago now, where my joy for teaching came back. And it just felt like the final piece in the puzzle that we've been waiting for. And it has been exciting beyond words. I literally have felt like there's this fire inside of me that is bursting out. And it's so thrilling, so thrilling. So I met with my pastors here and said, guys, I'm here. What can I do in the church? How can I be involved in this? This is where God is just pushing me right now. But with that too, he's opened up 2 opportunities to use that gift of teaching. One with the girls, I don't know how to explain it. So this time around, we have a lot of new girls that have started, and we still have some of the old ones. All the girls now in university, which works. A lot of the girls here take night classes, so it's a great age group, great timing for them to come over. And especially because we've had so many new ones, it's just brought like a fresh perspective to the group. But it's hard to put this into words, but God is doing something really huge, really huge. I've been astonished at the level of vulnerability and depth that we have gone into with these girls. Astonished, especially for these new ones who haven't had like the trust that's been built up, and yet they come and they've been sharing just so many deep things. And then the girls that have been here are opening up in ways that they never have before. And it's been so clear that God is doing a work that I can't even believe. And I don't understand it. And at the same time, I'm just completely in awe of that. And then I've also been teaching with our young women's group called Hadassah. Last year, God was really putting on my heart because we've been watching videos of preachers, and God was saying, you should teach, Sarah. Like, you should teach. At the time, I couldn't. And then as I came back, God was like, you need to teach. And so I started teaching. We chose the book of Esther, so I've been teaching through the book of Esther. The joy of teaching has just been phenomenal. But then God is doing another crazy work in Hadassah where we have new members that have come, and then there's a depth that has come that we've struggled to have before. And it's incredible. It's really incredible and so encouraging. When I speak for the girls and for Hadassah, it feels like God is pouring his words out through me, because I can guarantee that things will come out of my mouth and I'm like, I don't even know where that came from, but it's there. It's incredible to see that happen. So I've been being like, Lord, what's going on? Like, is it part of like the vulnerability of my situation that has led things go deeper? Is it just like there's other things happening, people's lives? Is like your word is just pouring this out? But the only obvious answer to this is the Lord doing work beyond measure. And it's been just so encouraging. It's been God saying, I'm faithful and I'm here. And so even though I went through like the most difficult season, God has been so clear that he never left, that his love remains, and that he's here. And I'm sure there's times where you've also felt alone and sad and uncertain, and that reassurance of who he is, and his presence just means so much. So for the next coming up time, I'm looking at just more opportunities, really, and seeing, Lord, what would you have me to be a part of? Taking it slowly right now because my energy is not 100% yet. I'm going to say it's like 75%. We still have a little bit to go, and I can't just rush into things, but I'm excited for that. And with this too, I'm continuing counseling. I'm continuing to meet my psychiatrist as well. Because there's a long journey still ahead, and that's the reality. But there's a journey ahead that has hope, that has thriving, that has joy. And that's the most incredible thing. So incredible. So thanks. You're a part of this. And I think that's also the greater joy of knowing that what God calls us to, he doesn't send us to alone. And so especially for those who are part of giving financially every month, you're a part of this. And that's the thrilling bit of this. God's work is so big and so great, and it is a continual humbling honor that we get to be a part of what he's doing. And it's incredible. So thank you so much. You have been a part of this insane, crazy, difficult journey. But there is a journey of hope and of love and of God doing bigger and greater things than any of us can even imagine. So thanks. Thanks for listening to this as well. We'll probably return to like written ones later, unless it's like by popular demand you want video updates, which actually would be great and easier for me too. But so let me know about that one. And I'm praying for you guys, praying for each one of you as God works in your own hearts, as He transforms each of us to be more like Him, that we would surrender daily and follow after Him absolutely, completely, in everything. Thanks.